All right, Shalom. First and foremost, before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha HaKodash. The honors go out to the apostles, elders, great millstone, Haru, and teach well. Shalom, Barakim to you brothers and sisters out there. All right, this is the brother Malachi from the great millstone Nashville camp. And Lord, on that this lesson is edifying to the hopeful elect. All right, I just wanted to touch a little bit on this article here, and just bring these things out and get a few scriptures, and Lord willing, it's edifying. All right, so this was posted today, July 7th, 2025. Texas flooding, which as the hours in the past couple of days went on, the number, the death toll for this incident has gone up. Which is usually, how it works, right, as they continue to look for people and, either find bodies or, people after so long of not being able to be discovered, no trace, no sign of them, they basically pronounce them dead, because if you go missing in a flood and it's been a week or it's been 3 days, you're more than likely not down the street at a neighbor's house. You passed away and your body is just undiscoverable somewhere, somehow. All right, but it says Texas flooding kills more than 100 as search continues for dozens. It says Central Texas is reeling from catastrophic flash flooding that began on July 4th, claiming over 100 lives and leaving communities grappling with unprecedented destruction. All right, and then it's no coincidence that it started on July 4th. Okay, because the Lord is not dealing with America, aka Babylon the Great. All right, that's something that needs to be understood. All right, and we make that known every day. When we do lessons, when we go to camp. All right, America is known as Babylon the Great in the scriptures. It's Sodom and Gomorrah. Spiritually, it's spiritually Egypt. It's Rome revived. It's all these things. Okay, Greece. America is the land of wickedness. It's like modern day Nineveh. With all the witchcraft and sorcery, all the BS, all the filth. In this country is off the charts. All right, which is why it has to be destroyed, and it will be destroyed by fire. All right, nuclear fire. All right, not a wildfire, but not volcanic fire, but nuclear destruction, desolation. All right. It says the floods triggered by torrential rainfall have overwhelmed the Guadalupe River, leading to one of the deadliest flood events in recent U.S. history. As search and rescue operations continue, additional rainfall threatens to exacerbate the crisis. Let's get that word real quick. I don't really see that word that often. Make a problem, bad situation, or negative feeling worse. Right, and at least over here in the Nashville area, probably a decent portion of Tennessee, it's gonna be raining all week. Now doesn't mean like it's gonna be pouring all day and all. It doesn't mean there's gonna be no flooding or nothing like that. But with it raining all week here, I wouldn't be surprised if down over there it's raining as well. And it might even be worse. And what it's saying is basically, as it continues to rain, it's not helping the flooding at all. Without the sun out there, and it just keeps raining and raining and raining. Them inches of water, they're gonna build up. All right, now you got to understand too, because it's very easy to say, well, how do people die from rainwater? Well, like it says, flash flood. Flash floods are terrifying, man. I personally don't believe I've been in one. Well, actually, I think I have, but not. What I mean when I say I haven't been in one, like to the point where I'm in a house and it's up to my knees and the water's rushing through the window. Nothing like that. All right, but that's horrifying. Now, matter of fact, let me see if maybe we can get some pictures of a flash flood, just to see what that would look like. Oh shit. See, and then especially people get trapped in the cars, man. Might shut the engine off, and water keeps rising. And then you got to remember too, water is very powerful, man. If it's rushing, that pounds of force that hits you, and like, look at this. Imagine you're asleep in the basement and there's this water rushing down the stairs, and you wake up and it's all the way up to your bed. And like, that's a terrible event to be a part of. Now, here's where I might as well go ahead and grab the first scripture. Who's the one that brought this flood? 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 6. It says, "The Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up." All right, so the Lord is the one that brought this flood upon Texas. Right? Now, some smart ass would probably say, well, I thought he said he wasn't going to flood the earth. Well, did he flood the earth, or did he flood Texas? Because when the Lord said he ain't going to flood the earth, he's saying he ain't going to flood the entire globe, the entire planet. Okay, and yes, globe. Okay, damn. But there'll still be floods. You see? And, I mean, well, obviously, I would hope you see, because look at these pictures. Finished. What is that? It looks like maybe like a little market gas station. They're out of business. This is horrible, But his judgment is righteous judgment. And then let me see if I can... Because, I'm sure you probably got that alert before, too, flash flood. Like on the alert on your phone, because, the water, like I said, the rushing water right here. Flash floods characterized by rapidly rising and rushing water are a dangerous natural hazard, especially when triggered by intense rainfall. These floods can develop within hours or even minutes, and there's certain areas, certain roads, even, I'm a delivery driver, and, it started pouring for literally like 10 minutes, and before you knew it, there were certain areas that already had a whole bunch of water. And that's dangerous too. People hydroplane, somebody's going, fast down the street, and they hit a big, amount of water, and it sends their whole car, moving a different direction. All right, it says flash floods develop quickly, often in response to heavy rainfall that exceeds the ground's ability to absorb it. All right, Salaki, let me finish this part too right here, because I just read rapid onset. It says these floods can develop within hours or even minutes, and the swift-moving water poses a significant threat, capable of sweeping away vehicles and people. So if you get swept away in a flash flood, it's basically like a moving... Well, I was going to say a moving river. That sounds stupid, because rivers do move. But when I say move, I'm saying like the flash flood, like that will travel down through streets, through houses, down hills. All right, imagine there's like a whole bunch of water, like a foot or two of water coming down a hill. Like you're most likely not going to be able to get up that hill, man. All right, that shit hits you, pushes you down the hill, and now it's starting to build up and you drown. Like it's and then not to mention what's in there. There could be brain eating amoeba in there. It could be alligators. It could be all manners of diseases, and you don't know. All right, but it's nothing to play with. Which is why you shouldn't be playing with the Lord. All right, because the Lord will protect you from which a flood is part of the plagues. All right, the Lord talked about how Egypt was going to get hit with plagues as before. The Lord talked about how, the whole earth is going to feel his wrath because they want to continue to neglect him. All right, and not take heed to him, which I'm really talking about the Israelites. All right, because heathens can't worship the Lord, in the sense of like how the Israelites do. Now, all people will worship the Lord in the kingdom, but I'm saying on this side, only the Israelites will call upon the names of the Lord in sincerity and truth. All right, Hebrews chapter 10, verse 31. It says, "It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God." Right? reading the NLT, it says, it is a terrible thing to fall into the hands of the living God. Well, so it's the same thing. But what does that mean? Like, when you want to keep messing around with the Lord, and he's like, all right, you know what? I'm going to handle this then. He ain't listening to chastisement, so we're going to get him right here. That you don't want that. All right, you don't want to find yourself in this Central Texas flood. All right, which, before we do that, let's actually look up the Guadalupe River. Okay, yeah, so this ain't no small river here. Shit. Oh yeah, and see they got camps right there, and it's summertime too, so people were at them camps. Wow. Yeah, man. That ain't no joke. And you don't know what's in that water either. And that's what was flooding. And remember, the earth is mostly water. All right, how much of the earth is actually water? I forgot. How much? Most of it's not drinkable either, in the sense of it's mostly salt water. Approximately 71% of the earth's surface is covered by water. The vast majority, 96.5%, is salt water. Yeah, and that's crazy, man. And they've only they haven't even explored a lot of that, and they can't, because water's scary, man. And it's also for cleaning. Same with fire. That's why the Lord flooded the earth, and then now he's going to use fire, that nuclear destruction. So let's go back to this article. Lord willing, I'm not rambling. I'm just trying to get information. All right, here it says, the flooding described as a deadly flood wave has caused widespread devastation, particularly in Kerr County, where at least 84 fatalities have been reported, including 28 children. Damn. All right, here we go. The Guadalupe River, swollen by heavy rains that dropped up to 16 inches over July 3rd to 5th, surged nearly 24 feet in under an hour, sweeping away homes, uprooting trees, and leaving a trail of debris. See, that's another thing. You think you're safe in your house, and your whole house gets rooted up from the foundation, and you get taken down this fucking river. Like, you're fucked. So I'm going to grab this as well, because we know the Lord controls all judgment, so why not seek to him? All right, Isaiah 55 in verse 6 to 7, it says, seek ye the Lord while he may be found, call ye upon him while he is near. If you want to be protected from these plagues, so it's only going to get worse, man. There's going to be more floods, more hurricanes, more tornadoes, famine, more pestilence. All right, now they got this CV variant where they're talking about razor blade throat, all right, which what they're trying to say is it's extremely sore throat, discomfort. All right, but there's a whole bunch of diseases just running around, out here, man. All right, it says, call ye upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our God, for he will abundantly pardon. So you got to seek the Lord, man, and pray for mercy, and pray for protection. Pray for wisdom, pray for guidance. All right, Psalms 91, you want to be in that secret place. Isaiah 33 and 6. All right, it's not the time to be playing games, man. There's a lot of people out there playing games. They see these different articles come out, like this one I just brought out with the flash flood, and they're like, oh man, that's horrible, and then they go right back to doing what they've been doing. No, you're supposed to see this as a sign. Oh shit, this is judgment. Like, something needs to change here. Like, I need to change. I need to make sure that I'm right, so I don't get caught up in some crazy shit like this. All right, so Lord, when that this lesson was edifying, I pray it was. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Basham Shai, Ba'ashem Rachah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostle Elder Great Millstone.